Okay, so I've been recently having a lot of conversations about DJing. I've been posting a lot about DJing, why I've been into it, and how it's just really become my hobby. But I think it's kind of cool to go back to the origin story, like how it became a thing in my life and the possibilities and exciting things that I'm working on and what I want to transpire, and goals and ambitions that I've set for myself with it. So about a year and a half ago, I got injured and I broke my foot, and I had multiple surgeries, and I was pretty much bedridden for about six months. And during that time, I needed something to occupy myself when I didn't have the access to walk. So I was like, I want to learn how to DJ. I've always been around the music. I grew up raving. I grew up around jungle and different house styles and techno, and all my friends were DJs, all my friends were break dancers, all my friends were MCs. I used to carry the records into parties, and I was always in the club. I was always in the raves, and I've always been around it. But I've never actually took my passion or love of the music to the decks. So last year I actually got into making the decision that I wanted to learn how to play. So as I was laying in bed, I ordered a DDJ 400 and downloaded Rekordbox, and just kind of started searching on YouTube and looking on the internet. What could I find? What could I do? What was gonna work? And I started with basic videos, and it was horrible. I mean, I always remember I would play, and Tina would sit next to me, and she would give me the thumbs up, or she'd give me the thumbs down, because the mixing just wasn't there. I didn't understand phrasing. I didn't understand proper beat counts. I didn't understand keys. I didn't understand controlling BPMs. So what ended up happening is I came across a course called Crossfader, and for those that know about Crossfader, they are absolutely amazing. It is just an amazing course. It's well worth the money, and I bought the package. And as I sat there, they have all these videos that they've done, these tutorials that they've done that are 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and it focuses on one specific thing at a time. And it's geared around your software, which you bought. And as I laid in bed, I would literally just play on this DDJ, and I would watch these videos, and then I would try to get my hot cue right, or try to get my settings right, or try to start building playlists, or start playing with keys, or learning how to mix with two songs back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And that was kind of the beginning of my journey about a year and a half ago. As soon as I started really falling in love with the creativity of it, and the excitement of playing and curating music, I started reaching out to local DJs, and was some of them I knew here in town, and they knew me as a chef, right? Because that's my career. That's how most people know me, is Brother Luck, chef. They started, showing up to the restaurant. We started kind of booking them for little things here and there. And as I started having these conversations, then it was hey, why don't we just throw a show? So my very first show was, we had a party where we had a whole lineup of DJs playing, and one of the main DJs was Donald Glad. And he's a house legend. The dude's, I grew up in the Bay Area, so hearing his music and style as a young teenager in the late 90s, it's pretty cool. He ended up, I gotta slow down, there's a deer about to jump in front of the road. He ended up coming out to Colorado Springs to do a show, and he was supposed to originally do it in Denver, but he got sick and had to cancel his Denver show. So they rebooked him for Colorado Springs, and the DJ who was booking him pretty much said, he's a friend of mine. I'd love to bring him down here. Could we use your venue? But I'd also, love for you to open up for us. And it was crazy, like, to actually have a 1-hour set, and, you know, to have to kind of, like, decide how I was going to play and what I was going to do, like, let alone be on the ticket for somebody who is of that magnitude. And, man, I was so nervous. You know, it was my first time playing on CDJs. They had some CDJ 3000s they brought. The sound system sounded amazing. And, you know, my set was okay. It was all right. It wasn't like the best set. I'm was still trying to find my voice, what I wanted to say. But yeah, it was super wild to actually have the ability to play live like that in front of a crowd. And you know, there was probably like 10 people there for me, because it was early. I think I had like a 9 o'clock set. But I got the bug for like building a playlist, understanding how to play for, you know, a full hour like that, how to like plan out your playlist and say, this is what I want to say. And as a chef, I find it really unique because, like, I write menus all day and I create experiences through my menus. Like, I have to build an appetizer, an entree, a dessert. I've got to put some flavors in there that are me. I've got to personalize it. I've got to put some spices in there. I've got to kind of hit you with some surprises. I got to find inspiration from classics. Like, creating a playlist is actually very similar for me to writing menus and how I do that as a professional chef. So yeah, my first gig was super crazy, was super fun, and I got to play for, you know, somebody that is a legend in this industry. And, you know, that the cool part about owning my own restaurants is essentially I have my own venues. Like, I haven't had to go out there and like search for a residency or, you know, try to get on this like club circuit, because I own my own businesses. I have my own restaurants. And it's like, the tough part is like separating your passion from the business. Just because, like, I love to play house music doesn't mean my customers like to hear my house music. So I have to be very like particular about what I found. And as I started to define my style, I've actually learned, you know, originally I thought I loved bass house. I thought bass house was going to be the one thing that I was only going to play, because that was my jam. That was the style of music I like, because it's just it's aggressive and it's you know, grimy, and it's like, just, you know, I'm a drum and bass kid. I'm a jungle kid, so like that style of music for me, it fit really well as far as like house. But I started actually writing playlists for my restaurants, for my kitchen production, for my prep, while we're in the kitchen doing work, and also, you know, stuff I could play live in front of the guests. And like through this process, I have discovered that I love soul house, I love groove house, I love Afro house. So I've actually started to really find my own style and my own voice in my music, in the choices that I'm putting together on these playlists, because like I have a very specific ear. And like being someone over 40, you know, we came up in a generation where music was without phones. There was no distraction. Like, we went to the clubs, we went to the parties to hear the music. We were front and center. We battled speakers. Like, we had to like find the longitude and latitude to get into a party and follow a map that, you know, some guy gave you on the down low at a smoke shop. So like our generation, we connect with music differently. And I think as I curate a lot of my playlists, a lot of my sounds, a lot of my style, it does have that influence because of that foundation. So yeah, a lot of my vibe lately has been jazz house, has been soul house, has been some electro house. And it's kind of cool because it's like, you know, understanding how to build a brand, because of my chef brand, being on television, being in the entertainment industry, cooking on a circuit where I'm traveling around with celebrity chefs and doing celebrity chef events. It's actually taught me the importance of like how to start putting that into my DJ side. So, you know, it's a trip, because like I've created my Mixcloud, I've created my SoundCloud, I've started to incorporate some of this on my TikTok, I've started to incorporate this on some of my Instagram. You know, we're in the process of building a podcast / YouTube session in our private studio, where I have like a private restaurant, kitchen / dining room. So, all of this knowledge that I've gained as a chef and as a brand, I'm actually applying to the music, and I've started to incorporate it. Like it's worked into things like I was a featured chef up in Aspen for Food and Wine, which is a huge event, and it's like every celebrity chef's there. Your Guy Fieri's, your Bobby Flay's, like all these guys are there, and we're also cooking as kind of the up and coming generation, doing events and showcasing. But one of the big parties, because everything's about a private party, was a private party at Nobu, and I reached out to the sponsors and I was like, hey, why don't you guys let me have some time on the turntables? And sure enough, they were like, absolutely. They booked me for a 1-hour set as celebrity chef Brother Luck to play at the club, and I had that club bumping. Like people were it was such a transition, because the music style that the other DJ was playing for most of the night was like very open format, and then I came in with this like wild, crazy style that had some hip hop, had some drum and bass, had some house music, had some groove, had some soul. And a lot of it was like edits and versions that a lot of people hadn't heard. So I had some fun playing live like that. But it was like a perfect way of incorporating the music into my chef brand and utilizing that as my opportunity to kind of do something different. So I do that a lot now. It's been cool, because owning a restaurant, owning multiple restaurants, and doing a lot of caterings, that always usually requires entertainment. So it's actually been one of the reasons why I've been able to buy a lot of my equipment, and is because I can sell it as a service when I'm doing caterings. So when I have a client who's like, we have 200 people, we're doing a barbecue, we're doing a lunch, we're doing a reception, I'd be like, well, who's your DJ? And then I'm able to either hire one of my friends who can DJ the party, but I own the speakers, I own the mixers, I own all the pieces that are needed to be able to pull that off and make the money, but it's also allowed me to pay for this stuff. So it's kind of cool, the business side of it, is because like now I have equipment that's much higher end to play on and practice on. So I'm constantly playing every day, from starting on that DDJ 400 to now playing on CDJs, playing on an XE. Like I feel so much more confident stepping into some of these arenas and just showing up with a USB stick and some headphones. It's crazy, but the education's constant. It's constant learning. It's constantly growing and staying humble. Like I kind of keep the mindset that I don't know anything. I literally don't know anything when it comes to music and DJing, and I stay in that mindset like I do as a chef. Like even though I've been cooking for 30 years and I've cooked with some of the best chefs in the world, and I've traveled some of the most amazing places, and I've had some of the most amazing experiences, I still maintain the mindset that I don't know anything about cooking. I think applying that to DJing and music has actually allowed me to grow really fast, because I'm hungry. I stay hungry, and it's just opened up so many really cool outlets. So as far as goals and aspirations, man, I'm excited. There's I keep writing new goals. I keep accomplishing them. My next goal is I want to play a festival. I want to get a slot on a big festival, and I want to play in front of a huge crowd. And it's just got to make sense. It's kind of cool, because I've had some different production teams reach out to me, event planners that are looking for kind of like a culinary experience to add to their festival, and having the chef brand allows me to say I can create a menu or an experience around that, but give me a slot. And then they start to listen to my Mixcloud or my SoundCloud and hear a session I did, and they go, oh wow, you can actually play. So that's kind of my next piece, is I'm trying to figure out how to blend the two. I do want to play in Ibiza at some point. Like, who doesn't? I want to get a set out there and just like add that to my bucket list. But I think the nightlife is dying, sadly. I don't think people want to stay out till 3-4 in the morning like they used to. I don't think people want to spend the money that it requires to go to some of these nightclubs and parties. Festivals are obviously different, but nightclubs have kind of started to fall off. So it makes me kind of think, like, how can I create day parties and do something that's different and more fun, because I think that's where the attraction is. Even like last week, the last couple weeks, I've actually done like a paella on the patio, where I've cooked like a huge batch of paella, and people show up because I'm giving away free paella, and like, you obviously got a professional chef doing it, so it's going to be good. But then we bust out the turntables and the speakers and literally create like open decks, and I'll spin, or my friends will show up and spin, and it's just kind of created a day vibe or an evening vibe. So I think that's something I see as the future of where this music is going, is not having to stay out till 2-3 in the morning. Like, I don't want to be at the club at 2-3 in the morning, honestly. Like, I'm tired, and I want to get up and have my coffee and go play golf. So yeah, man, I don't know, everybody's just been asking me so much about how did I get into the music, why am I DJing, what's it about. That's just kind of a base of the story that I've been on and the journey I've been on, especially throughout my sobriety. It's been a really good distraction for me, because it gives me something to do with my hands. It's something social I can do. I have headphones on, which is really nice, and I'm having fun with it. It's super stimulating as far as my creative outlet, and as a chef, I find so much joy in it. So I don't see it going away. I think I'm going to be playing for many years to come. I'm just going to continue to grow and evolve, and I can't wait for y'all to see me on some of these headliners and some of these tickets in the future as, Brother Luck. I already got a cool name, so I don't have to come up with a cool DJ name. But yeah, and I love incorporating the food into it, the cooking into it. And the thing too is, like, so many of these DJs and festival goers, they're foodies, man. They love food. And when my buddies used to travel and do shows, we would always, no matter where I was at in the country, when they were coming to town to perform, to spin, or to play live, or to MC, I would always make them stop at our house or our apartment, and I would get all my chef friends together, and we would cook for them. Because, like, when you're on the road like that, you don't eat really good. Like, you're eating fast food, you're in the back of a van, you're in a shuttle or whatever, you're eating like crap. So I would always make time for a lot of my chef friends, for my music friends, to connect with my chef friends, and then we would just throw down and like have a little barbecue or a party, just so I knew they ate well on their tour. So I don't know, maybe that's something that works into my future in this industry. But yeah, man, that's just kind of a synopsis of what's been going on, and why I've been playing, and how I got into playing, and where I think I'm going to be going in the future. And of course, production, man. I gotta get good in Ableton. I'm teaching myself Ableton, and I think you have to be able to create your own content, and you have to be able to create your own music. And it's just like food. I can't cook other people's food and then say, like, I have this brand as an original artist, but I'm cooking somebody else's dishes. I've got to be able to create my own music, and I know what I want to hear. It's just learning the software. So production's is a big thing right now for me. But I'm on my way to a catering, and I'm about to pull up pretty soon here. I'm in the middle of the mountains, so I've just been talking with y'all while I'm driving, and we're cooking for like 200 people out in the mountains right now. So that's my day job, and that's still one of my loves. But I don't know, I'd love to literally just have the music be a second piece of that, or become the primary piece. You're too old to be cooking like this. All right, y'all. Peace. Hope you enjoyed the interview. I'm gonna get back to it.